and welcome to another episode of On the Fly Television. I'm your host, Dennis Gleason. This is episode number 16 in a series of 10-minute segments talking about ad hoc television production. If you guys are watching in the Portland metropolitan area, this was recorded in your area. If you're interested in volunteering or becoming part of cable access or television in general, watch this show, watch what we do, how we do it, and realize that even you too can get involved. Today I have a very special guest with me, a collaborative and or cohort producer, Eileen Newman. Eileen, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, Dennis.
So now this is what you said, the first time on a live to tape show.
Yes, it
Okay.
is.
And so folks, what that means is that there is no retakes and there's only editing at the beginning and at the end of the show. So she's going to be a little bit nervous, but that's okay. See, that's why I'm doing this show. Anyone that's watched this before knows I do this show so that I can get comfortable doing it so that when it really counts, then I can do a really good job. And so the email address will be put up throughout the show. So if you think I'm doing a great job, send me an email, let me know. The higher the episode number, the more time I've had to do it. If you think that I've regressed or if I'm not doing that great, feel free to also send me an email and be appropriate by it. But let me know, because really, truly, this is a learning experience for me, and no feedback, i.e., no benefit for me. So I did have a list of things I want to talk about. What we do is we would just banter, typically, producer gone wild, G-rated fashion. So one of the things was it was snowing today. It might even be snowing right now, which in Portland, how often does that happen?
Not often.
Not often?
Not often at all.
Yeah, and in Portland, Oregon, for those people that are watching this in Maine. But yeah, we don't usually have too much on the city floor because we're in a valley, and so when it does snow, it's like, oh, people start driving around as if they're on something. But ironically, that happens until there gets to be snow and ice built up enough to where you have to drive on it. And then once it gets to that, only a few bold people will even go out. In some places, they really can't even leave their houses. So do you like driving in snow?
Not particularly. I do enjoy the way when we get a lot of snow here that all the TV stations, the network TV stations go to snow alerts and
Yeah.
they take over. And a couple of years ago, I was living in Wisconsin, and we had maybe about 4 feet, and we're expecting another 4 or 5, and we went out driving. And people were just all over the place, and it's so different.
Sure, because you guys are used to it, right?
Yeah.
And so you go from an environment where you have snow for many months at a time,
Right.
and then you go into the Portland metro area situation, and it's almost like Phoenix, but yet we have snow every year, but
Right.
it's usually only a couple of days a year, sometimes a little off. But I love being in snow. I love driving in snow. I don't like it for an extended period of time because I'm a kind of a wuss when it comes to temperature. But I do like the differences and the weather, changing, and the fact that typically fall brings a lot of dirt of different types where all the leaves fall and start decomposing and everything starts clogging up and plants start dying for the year, which all it's supposed to, right? But the snow coming in covers everything up, makes it look all brand new, and it looks almost like a poster. And if it's around Christmas time, it looks really great. So I really enjoy when it's snowing. Or when we have enough to accumulate for something, but I don't like the ice.
Right, me too. I don't like that
So
either.
one of the other things I want to talk about is obviously the purpose of this show is to promote cable access television production. I know you do a few things.
A few, yeah.
A few. Can you tell me a little bit about the different types of shows that you've done recently as a fellow
Sure.
producer?
Sure. I started producing here in, I'm thinking it was May or June, and since that point I've turned in 33 shows.
33 shows.
33. Now some are as short as between 30 seconds and 3 minutes,
Oh, okay,
but
okay.
one is a 40-minute show. And I do it different than you do. You do them in the studio, you shoot them live.
Right.
I shoot them and have hours and hours and hours of footage and sit in the edit bay and edit them. And we call that the field shooting,
Sure,
as you know.
sure.
And that's available here. And it was just that one $35 training program. And I was all set up with equipment
Sure.
and that kind of thing.
And I know that different cable access stations have different requirements. There's some that are provided completely free to the public, depending on where you live. And I know there's other ones that will cost you an arm, leg, and your first child if you have one, dog if you don't. But it's usually very inexpensive, comparatively speaking, to going into like major access or major TV stations, which right now we all know is having problems with the writer's strike. Speaking of that, you do your own writing, yeah? You don't
Yes.
hire someone
Yes,
to do it.
yes.
Okay. Obviously, in cable access, we're not restricted to the same writing guidelines that they, the Writers Association of America or Writers Guild, excuse me, of Association of America, whatever it's called, WGA. Simply because we're non-union and we don't get paid. We're all volunteers. We spend our time doing this because we love to. So my only comment with that, I actually have a show to discuss that. It's called Producer Chinwag. That I wanted to tape this morning, but unfortunately due to the time we couldn't get there. But that was to talk about writers and what the differences are. So if you're out there and you're watching this and you're in the Portland metropolitan area and you are a TV producer, TV director, writer, or you've done extensive time in television, whether it be current or past, whether it's cable access or quote unquote real TV, send an email to me at ontheflytv16@excite.com. The address has been put up on the screen occasionally. Let me know that you have that experience and that you are interested in maybe participating in this and or other shows. I'm always looking for staff that are willing to go longevity, to show up for many different shows. Most all of mine tape after hours in the evenings on the weekdays because I don't have a lot of time. I have a real job. So another question I have is, being a field producer, now you said you have hours and hours of editing for what could be considered a very small amount of actual show at the end. Is that fulfilling for you?
Well, it gives me so much control, and I get to work through and set exactly the audio I'm looking for and exactly the visual images, and it's really rewarding. It's really, really rewarding.
Okay.
You know, by the way, I did want to answer your question on what kinds of shows.
Oh, okay.
Recently, I've been running a series of Ask Alice pieces about it's a stuffed monkey who answers questions and has taken on kind of a personality. I have 7 of those.
Stuffed monkey.
A stuffed monkey.
Did you shoot the monkey?
We did shoot the monkey.
Oh,
Alice Monkey. No, Dennis! A stuffed animal monkey.
I got you.
Yeah. So
it had to happen, you know it. We saw it coming.
I didn't. Sorry. Okay, and then I have a few that are I call Our Beautiful Oregon.
Okay.
And that one is a kind of art. My photographs set to music is really what that one is. And then a whole bunch of recycling tips.
Okay, so
there's a whole bunch of those where master recyclers from the state of Oregon in Washington County come and talk about it. Yeah, that's a program that's done out here.
It sounds a little more official than I want to do.
Yes, and I'm actually one of them.
Oh, are you?
Yes, I am. And then
that's Eileen, producer, master recyclist.
It does say that on the thing. And the other thing is, in general, I do documentaries with kind of that heartwarming, kind of inspirational thrust.
Okay. One of the things I want to talk about too is, because again, ad hoc television, talk about whatever is I feel like, and one of them is I'm looking at other shows to get involved with. So if you're interested in like the Oakland Raiders, or if you're a nonprofit agency looking for exposure, whatever, give me an email. So I know our time is wrapping up, and I want to thank you very much, Eileen, for coming on the show. I appreciate it again, being your first time. Reminder, folks, if you're interested in doing cable access, or if you're interested in getting into television, give me an email. Let me know you're interested. Or if you're not in the Portland metropolitan area and you want to get involved at your local area, go online, check out cable access stations in your area, and they'll probably give you instructions on how to sign up and what your requirements are for residency, etc. Any last words? I'm sure I have the creative ability to wait until they finish the credits. They can go ahead and run music. Anything else you want to say? Nope,
no.
That's no. All right. Well, thank you again for having me.
Well,
everyone, have a great day, and thank you again for watching On the Fly Television.
My Savior and my King, I long to have you near me. I need the comfort that you bring. I've tried to walk this road alone, but you stayed right next to me.
There we go. Thank you again. I appreciate
monkey. Oh my God, that's a gross one, Dennis.
Oh, it was
and
all
I
in
thought
fun.
you meant shoot the monkey. You knew.
Thank you guys. You did a great job. Thank you.
But you like that, right? When the guest host goes, oh no.
Well, this one's an interesting show because we only have 2 crew members today.